guys, welcome back. It's Neon, and we're going to talk about Star Trek. Now, we don't talk about Star Trek on this channel because, frankly, I have very little interest in Star Trek these days. You know, Geeky and I used to be really big Star Trek fans. We watched Next Gen, we watched Deep Space Nine, I watched all of Enterprise, you know, and we even, you know, somewhat enjoyed the Abrams movies. Neither one of us has any desire to watch Star Trek Discovery. Frankly, from what I've seen of it and heard of it, it looks like a shit show. I'm not interested. However, when they said that they were going to do a series focusing on Jean-Luc Picard, you know, tying into Next Gen, that piqued my interest a little bit. However, you know, given the way things have been going with Trek lately, I'm like, this is probably not going to be a very good show. Everybody is super excited about the new Star Trek. And I'm not really, I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll check out Picard. I'll check it out just because I'm such a huge Next Gen fan. And I don't think I'm going to enjoy it because I'm not hearing very good things already. So this is coming from Bounding Into Comics. The rumor is that Alex Kurtzman has been fired by CBS and that the test shows for Star Trek Picard are absolutely horrible. Now, Kurtzman, you may recognize, but he's not well liked by Star Trek fans, as I understand it. So, now, this rumor comes from Nerdrotic. We do know Nerdrotic, and I know that they do cover Star Trek pretty extensively over there. Again, we do not cover Star Trek on this channel. The only reason I'm talking about this at all is because of my fondness for Next Gen and hoping for a sort of a proper sequel to Next Gen. And from what I'm hearing, I don't think this is going to happen. I never expected this to happen, given the current climate today, given some of the stupid decisions made by a lot of these studios today. Like, you can't recapture the magic of Next Gen. You know, Gene Roddenberry was directly involved with it early on, and it's just, it's you know, lightning in the bottle. You're never going to do that again. So for them to try, I thought was kind of presumptuous anyway, but apparently there's some behind-the-scenes drama with Kurtzman being quietly ousted over there, and you know, that's all related to Star Trek Discovery. Now, where my concern is with Picard, because like I said, this is one that I might have checked out had the word of mouth been good, and just given how much I like Next Gen, how much I do like Patrick Stewart. So the footnote here is that Nerdrotic notes that things behind the scenes have appeared to change as Netflix allegedly passed on the upcoming Star Trek Picard series. So Amazon Prime Video is going to secure the global rights for Star Trek Picard. Each episode will air within 24 hours on Amazon Prime, following the US premiere on CBS All Access. If Netflix passes on anything, that's not a good sign. Netflix will literally greenlight anything these days. They'll pick up anything. And if it's something that would you know, tap into the old school Star Trek fandom, they absolutely would pick that up. But it must be pretty data, you know, what happened to the crew. God only knows what they've done to these characters, right? Like, we have no idea where these characters are going to be, what has happened to them. So, you know, everybody's like got all these questions like, wow, this is going to be great. This is going to be a sequel to Next Gen. And if you actually listen to some of what Patrick Stewart has been saying about it, it sounds like they're going to go in a completely different direction. I'm just not excited. And given how shitty Discovery is from, you know, again, coming from people whose opinions I trust, and I can't get excited about this. I want to. I would like to. But you can see, though, that, you know, the friendly media is coming out to defend Picard already because people are already making comparisons to The Last Jedi. How The Last Jedi turned Luke Skywalker into a sad sack. Now people are like, oh God, they're going to do the same thing to Picard. So here's Den of Geek coming out. Why Star Trek Picard won't be like The Last Jedi. Pundits worry Trek is taking a cue from Star Wars by turning a hero into a grump. But adult rumination is what Trek has always been. Luke Skywalker and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Well, Picard's always been, arguably, Picard has always been kind of grumpy. You know, so that's not really out of character for him. But, you know, having him so bitter and hopeless, if that's where they're actually going with it, I don't know if anybody wants to see that. I mean, they ended things on a pretty decent note. Well, okay, never mind. The movies were kind of balls. But the series ended things on a pretty decent note. So, pundits forget, unlike Star Wars, Next Gen was always about olds, and Star Trek often draws its narratives not from coming-of-age tropes, but instead has always been about adults dealing with adult problems. If Picard is old and grumpy in the new show, it's not subversive or imitative of a trend, it's a natural progression of what Next Gen was all about. Examinations of middle age and old age in science fiction. That's what it was about? I didn't think that's what it was about. I really didn't think that's what it was about. So, you know, it just goes on and on. You know, they talk about how Picard broke the mold because he felt less like a hero, more like a real person. I agree with that. And he wasn't your typical captain. I mean, he was already, you know, middle-aged. He was a little more seasoned. He wasn't a womanizer like Kirk was, you know. He wasn't like the action hero. But he definitely was a leader. So the gist of it here is Picard does seem poised to shock and tantalize with the idea that Picard is no longer a Starfleet captain. That's not really shocking at all. If you know anything about Star Trek, this isn't shocking. And more importantly, it's also not a stunt or part of a trend. Comparing Picard to other heroic sci-fi and fantasy characters is a waste of time because he defies characterization, meaning the choices he makes as an older man will, if written well, reflect the person we've come to know since '87. I'm just concerned they could have pretty much, you know, wiped their asses with everything that happened in Next Gen, and God only knows what kind of character he's actually going to be. So they end with, if anything, Luke Skywalker is more like Jean-Luc Picard. No. No. Luke Skywalker gave into his hopelessness and depression, and Jean-Luc Picard never did. He fought it. He fought it. So, I don't know, guys. I'm not excited about this show. You know, they did drop a trailer a couple weeks ago. I thought about doing a reaction. I'm like, what's the point? There's really nothing to see. There's absolutely nothing to see except a vineyard, you know, and they're not telling us anything, and I don't think that's a very good sign. It wouldn't surprise me if this winds up being terrible. I just know I'm not excited about it. I gotta see more, but given the way that Trek's been going, I'm just not excited. Not excited at all, and if it's as bad as is being rumored, God, you know, this is one of those things that maybe should not exist, you know, at all. Just leave Next Gen as it is. Let's not go back to this character, and just leave it alone. But who knows? We'll see. Anyway, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon. We will talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.